Sure has been nice visiting y'all. Now y'all be sure to stay tuned. Now, you hear?
I guess the two questions I'm asked the most, if I really like animals, or if I really like critters. And I think they're like kids. Young people, they know if you really love them or not. And then the other question is if I can really whistle.
She was the small-town girl who became America's favorite tomboy, stealing hearts as Ellie May Clampett on the Beverly Hillbillies. But while the world laughed along with her charm, Donna Douglas was quietly battling frustrations, typecasting, and a devastating illness that would one day take her life. From beauty queen to Hollywood starlet, gospel singer, and devoted woman of faith, her journey was far more complicated than anyone watching her on TV ever knew. Donna Douglas was not born into the glamour of Hollywood. She came into the world as Doris Ione Smith on September 26, 1932, in Pride, Louisiana, a tiny rural town that looked nothing like the flashing lights of Los Angeles. From the start, Donna was different. She was not the type to sit quietly and play with dolls. She was climbing trees, fishing in the creeks, playing basketball and softball, and keeping up with the boys in her neighborhood. Her childhood was full of mud, scraped knees, and the kind of resilience that only comes from growing up in the South. People in town saw her as a tomboy, but not in a way that made her an outsider. In fact, she was popular, athletic, and outgoing, with a magnetic energy that drew others to her. Even then, her beauty did not go unnoticed. By her teenage years, people around her kept saying she was far too pretty to stay hidden in a small town. At just 17 years old, Donna took her first leap into the world of pageantry. She entered the Miss Baton Rouge competition, and to her surprise, or maybe not, she won. That victory opened doors she did not even know existed. Soon after, she was crowned Miss New Orleans, and with those titles came modeling jobs and recognition across Louisiana. But modeling was not enough. For someone as adventurous and full of personality as Donna, standing still for photographs felt limiting. She wanted to do something bigger, something that allowed her personality to shine as much as her looks. By her early 20s, it became clear that Pride, Louisiana was too small to hold her ambitions. While most young women of her time were expected to marry early and settle into traditional roles, Donna was restless. She had already proven she could win pageants and charm local audiences, but she wanted more than hometown fame. Hollywood called to her like it had to so many before. But unlike most, Donna was not going to Hollywood just to dream. She was determined to succeed. Leaving Louisiana behind was not easy. She had grown up close to her family, and the idea of moving across the country, away from everything familiar, was daunting. But Donna had that combination of confidence and stubbornness that made her unstoppable. She did not just want to chase stardom. She wanted to prove that a Southern girl with no formal acting training could break into the toughest industry in the world. With a suitcase, ambition, and the kind of courage you cannot teach, Donna Douglas headed west, ready to carve out her own place in Hollywood history. When Donna Douglas first arrived in Hollywood in the mid-1950s, she stepped into an industry overflowing with hopeful young women just like her. Beautiful, ambitious, and desperate to be noticed. Casting offices were packed, rejections were constant, and for someone without formal training, the odds of breaking through were slim. The studios were not known for being kind. Hollywood demanded polish and pedigree, and Donna had neither. What she did have, however, was something rare, an authenticity that could not be faked. She was not trying to be anyone else. She carried her Southern charm, her free-spirited personality, and her natural beauty into every audition, and little by little, that started to get her noticed. Her first opportunities did not come in the form of big movie roles, but in commercials. Advertisers loved her wholesome girl-next-door image, and she became the face of countless TV spots. It was not glamorous, but it got her in front of cameras and industry insiders. Donna knew she was paying her dues, and she treated every small role like it mattered. That persistence paid off when she began landing bit parts on television. She appeared in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, and most memorably, in an episode of The Twilight Zone called Eye of the Beholder. Though her role in the episode was small, the haunting storyline about beauty standards gave the show lasting fame, and Donna's presence on screen stuck with viewers. Soon, she began breaking into films as well. In 1959, she appeared in Career alongside Dean Martin and Shirley MacLaine. The part was minor, but it marked her official transition to Hollywood's big screen. A couple of years later, She popped up in Lover Come Back with Doris Day and Rock Hudson, and in 1966, she landed her most exciting film role yet, starring opposite Elvis Presley in Frankie and Johnny. Working with the king of rock and roll was not just a career milestone, it was a dream come true. Donna had admired Elvis for years, and their chemistry on screen gave fans something to talk about. By the early 1960s, Donna was not a household name yet, but she had something even more valuable: momentum. She was steadily climbing, building a resume that mixed television, film, and commercials. More importantly, she was earning a reputation as someone professional, reliable, and easy to work with. That reliability would prove critical, because soon, a quirky little audition involving a milk cow would change her life forever. By 1962, Donna Douglas had been in Hollywood for a few years, steadily working but still waiting for that one role that could make her a star. That chance came with a new sitcom from CBS called The Beverly Hillbillies. The concept was unusual. A rural family that strikes oil suddenly becomes rich and moves to Beverly Hills, where their country ways collide with high society. Producers knew the show needed a cast that felt authentic, especially for the role of Ellie May Clampett, the sweet but strong-willed daughter of Jed Clampett. The character was supposed to be beautiful, but also a tomboy, someone who could climb trees, wrestle critters, and charm audiences without losing her country roots. It sounded like a description of Donna Douglas's real life. Still, the producers wanted to be sure. For Ellie May's audition, they came up with a bizarre test. Every actress had to milk a cow. Many of the young women who came in had no idea what to do. Donna, on the other hand, grew up in rural Louisiana. For her, milking a cow was second nature. She handled it with ease, then added her natural charm on top of it. The producers were sold. Out of hundreds of hopefuls, Donna Douglas was chosen to play Ellie May Clampett. The decision would change her life forever. The Beverly Hillbillies premiered in 1962, and almost overnight, it became a ratings juggernaut. Audiences could not get enough of the Clampett's fish out of water antics, and Ellie May became one of the show's most beloved characters. Donna brought a mix of innocence, playfulness, and tomboy energy that made Ellie May stand out. She was not just a pretty face, she was climbing trees, wrestling with her critters, and refusing to conform to Beverly Hills society's expectations. For viewers, she represented authenticity in a world of pretense, and that authenticity made her unforgettable. The show ran for 9 seasons, consistently ranking among the top programs on television. At its peak, it drew more than 50 million viewers, making it one of the most successful sitcoms of its era. Donna Douglas became a household name, and her face was instantly recognizable across America. She graced magazine covers, gave interviews, and became a pop culture icon. But while the fame brought her opportunities, it also brought an unexpected burden. The role of Ellie May Clampett would make her famous, but it would also trap her in ways she never anticipated. While the Beverly Hillbillies gave Donna Douglas fame beyond anything she had imagined, it also came with a catch that would shadow her career for decades: typecasting. To the world, Donna was Ellie May Clampett. Producers, casting directors, and even audiences struggled to separate the actress from the character. She was beautiful, sweet, and forever the innocent country girl with a southern twang. But Donna wanted more than that. She wanted to be taken seriously as a versatile actress who could handle complex roles, not just play variations of the same wide-eyed farm girl. After the Beverly Hillbillies became a hit, the offers she received were not much different from Ellie May. Scripts called for naive country girls, small-town beauties, or light-hearted comedic roles that leaned heavily on her accent and charm. Hollywood was notorious for pigeonholing stars, and Donna quickly found herself stuck. In interviews, she admitted feeling frustrated that her range as an actress was overlooked. She was not angry at Ellie May. She loved the role and appreciated how much joy it brought fans, but she was tired of being limited by it. She tried to branch out. Guest appearances on shows like Love, American Style, and Night Gallery allowed her to play characters outside of her Ellie May persona. These roles gave her the chance to show a more urban, mature side, but they did not erase the image burned into the public's mind. Casting directors still saw her as the Clampett girl. The frustration grew, and Donna realized she might never fully escape the shadow of Ellie May. By the mid-1970s, she began to pull back from Hollywood. She had spent years trying to prove herself in an industry that refused to let her evolve. Walking away was not easy. Acting had been her dream since she left Louisiana, but she understood that clinging to a career that kept boxing her in would only bring more disappointment. Instead, Donna started exploring other passions. She turned her attention to faith, music, and public speaking, searching for new ways to express herself beyond the television screen. For many stars, being typecast marked the slow fade into obscurity. For Donna, it became the turning point that pushed her toward reinvention. She would no longer be just Ellie May Clampett in the eyes of the world. She was about to create a new chapter for herself, one that would surprise almost everyone who thought they knew her story. When Donna Douglas stepped back from Hollywood, many assumed her career was finished, but Donna was not someone who let setbacks define her. Instead of clinging to the fading spotlight, she turned her attention to something deeply personal: her faith. In the years after the Beverly Hillbillies, Donna became a born-again Christian, and it changed the course of her life. She started traveling across the country, speaking at churches, community events, and Christian gatherings, where she shared her story of resilience and faith. For fans who knew her only as Ellie May, it was a surprising turn, but for Donna, it felt like the most natural path forward. She was not just playing a role anymore, she was living with purpose. Music soon became another outlet. Donna had always loved singing, and in the 1980s and 1990s, she recorded several gospel albums. With her warm voice and heartfelt lyrics, she connected with audiences in a way that felt far more genuine than the artificial world of Hollywood. She performed at festivals, charity events, and churches, blending her music with her testimony. For Donna, gospel singing was not about chasing fame or sales. It was about sharing comfort and inspiration. She wanted people to walk away feeling uplifted, and that sincerity struck a chord with those who listened. Her creativity did not stop with music. Donna also became an author, writing children's books that reflected her love for animals and her Christian values. Her most popular, Donna's Critters and Kids children's stories with a Bible touch, was directly inspired by her time on the Beverly Hillbillies and her lifelong affection for animals. Through stories of kindness and compassion, she aimed to pass down lessons of faith to the next generation. It was a way of staying connected to her fans, while also creating something meaningful for families. But perhaps the most surprising chapter of her reinvention came in real estate. Away from Hollywood, Donna pursued her license and began selling properties, proving she could succeed in a business far removed from television. At first, people may have assumed her fame carried her, but those who worked with her quickly realized Donna had the same work ethic and charm that made her popular on screen. She earned respect in the field, showing yet again that she was more than just the character everyone remembered. For all of Donna Douglas's resilience and reinvention, life still had one final test waiting for her. In her later years, after music, writing, and real estate had given her new purpose, Donna faced a battle far more personal than anything Hollywood could throw her way. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, one of the most aggressive and unforgiving forms of the disease. For many, such a diagnosis would have brought only despair, but Donna's response reflected the same strength and grace she had carried all her life. She leaned heavily on her faith, surrounding herself with prayer, optimism, and the unwavering support of her family. Family was everything to Donna in these years. Though she had lived a public life on television, her private life centered on her loved ones, especially her son Danny and her grandchildren. She often spoke about how much joy her family gave her, and during her illness, they became her anchor. Friends and relatives described her as remarkably positive, even when her health worsened. She refused to let fear define her final chapter. Instead, she focused on gratitude for the life she had lived and the people she had touched. On New Year's Day, January 1st, 2015, Donna Douglas passed away at the age of 82 in her home in Louisiana. The news struck fans hard. It felt like the closing of a chapter, not just for her family, but for everyone who had grown up watching the Beverly Hillbillies. Her death was a reminder that the era of classic television stars was slowly fading, leaving behind only memories and reruns that captured the innocence of a different time. Yet even in her passing, Donna left behind more than nostalgia. She left a legacy of kindness, determination, and authenticity. She proved that fame was never